On May 29th, Memorial Day, they tried to erase my father, Paul Brown Jr., VA veteran, Purple Heart, without honor by the Cincinnati, Ohio Police Department, the Spring Grove Funeral Home, and his landlord. And the reason why I say this, on May the 29th, my aunt, Viola Brown, she called the police department to check on my father, to do a well check on him. So normally when we check on our father, we'll call the police department. They'll call us back to let us know how he's doing. But this particular day was one of the worst days of my life. When the police called my aunt back, he stated that they found my father's body in the house dead, and they had already taken his body to the funeral home, a funeral home for a cremation without our consent. I was devastated. I got a call from the director from the funeral home telling us that we couldn't see our father. He said that a lady called in stating that she was the wife and we couldn't see him. I told him that my father wasn't married and we wanted to see our father. So he told us that we had to wait until Friday. Thursday morning, the director called us back and I told him that we was going to the police department. He said he would meet us over there.
My sister talks to the detective. He called the officer that had been in the apartment. The officer called the landlord. The landlord tell us he never lived in the apartment. He ain't on the lease. We can't come to the apartment. So now the light bulb goes off. Why am I being barred from my own father's apartment?
So on Friday evening, I got the call from the director telling me he apologized, that a lady called in and she was lying about she was married to him. So he finally texted us the address.
Get in the funeral home. We're looking at the body. My sister said, he been beaten. Left side of his face swole. His nose, there's a little bridge in his nose. They got two scenes on the incident report. They found them two different ways. You can't find a body but one way when you come on a scene. When you come on that scene, you're supposed to take a picture how you find that body when you come in that apartment. You being an officer or a sergeant or whoever you are, you know when you first come on that crime scene, when you got to take notes so you will know. You cannot tamper with the evidence.
It showed my father's body beaten on the floor with his hands fistballed up, his pants down, and his penis cut. So how could this be medical? And gonna tell us he don't live there. And later I find the pictures of them standing over my father's body with his license showing he lived there over 10 years. That wasn't the first call they received to check on my father. The police changed my father's address from Cincinnati to Corrine Township. To know his body is still at Spring Grove Funeral Home, and he's not down here to Baltimore, South Carolina, with me and my family. We can't bury him. And whoever took his life, and they getting away with it, and they using the system to cover up their murder. How could people, the police department, all these people in high places, use the system to do their dirt? And you close the investigation the same day. And an officer signed off on his own investigation.
Something ain't right about the situation. I don't know what it is. I'm not guessing. I'm saying let's do the autopsy and give my father the honor that he deserved.
So I'm reaching out, me and my family, to the world, anybody that could stand with me and my family for justice. We don't have an attorney at this time. Even when we contact the attorneys in Cincinnati, Ohio, they refuse to take it.
To have an unjust go like this here would be a tragedy. Whomever this touch or feel that it could have happened to your family, you know, it take a village to handle things. And if you can help us, we cry that somebody stand for justice. Because if you don't stand for justice, you'll fall for anything.